So this is the file we're going to be working with today. As you can see, I have it opened in Adobe Acrobat. So as you can see, the file we have laid out is 32 inches across and 18 inches tall. And the area we're going to cut is located up here in the upper left-hand corner. So if we zoom in on this area, we can see that we have 3 test chips that we're going to be cutting. They're comprised of a black outline, that's a .001 line width outline, and we're going to be cutting that. We have a red outline up here that we're going to be etching. We have a green outline and blocks of color that we're going to be performing a raster operation to. And we just have the blue text, which we're going to just be doing raster operations with. So when we're ready to actually send it to the laser cutter, we're going to click Print. And just like you would with any printer, we're going to find the name of the printer. In this case, it's the PLS 6.75. We're going to click on that. You can see that our height is 18 and our width is 32. You're going to make sure that the shrink to printable area is set to none and that auto rotate and center is unchecked. So the next step is to click on the Properties button up here, which is going to open this large window. This is where you're actually going to control things for the laser cutter. In this case, we're actually going to use manual control. So what you see here is the actual laser control window. It has a whole variety of colors off to the side here. The mode, which is what the laser cutter is actually going to do with the lines or blocks of color that you're handing to it. The power, which is a percentage of power that the machine is going to deliver. The speed, which is how fast the head moves. PPI is the pixels per inch, sort of like a resolution. And Z-axis is telling about focusing, but you're always just going to leave that off. So let's start with our black. So we're going to click on black. We're going to come down over here to these adjusters. You can drag them or you can actually type in a value. So for our black, we're actually going to be cutting. So it's just going to be a vector operation mode there. So we can change it with this box. We'll set it to vector. The power, since it's going to be a cut, we're going to set it to 80%. Sort of the rule of thumb with power is that the more flammable the material, sort of the less power you want to use. In this case, we're going to use 80, which is sort of a good setting for acrylic. Speed is roughly the thickness of the material, if you want to think about it that way. So a thicker material is going to need a slower speed. We're going to set it to 3 in this case. It never hurts, though, to run faster cuts and multiple passes rather than trying to get through it all in one cut. And for vector operations, we always set the PPI to 1000. It's very important that you click the big Set button to actually lock those in. So now for red, since it's an etch, it's also going to be a vector operation. So we're going to set it to vector. Power is 50. Speed is we're also going to set to 50. It's a pretty good etch. And we're going to set PPI to 1000. For etching, I like to work between 40 and 60 for both the power and the speed, and sort of different combinations give me different depths of etch. So I'm going to click Set for that. For green here, say we wanted a heavier etch, so we may set it to, actually, we're going to set it to 50. We're going to set our speed, though, to 40. So this will have the laser stay on the same area for a longer period of time and give us a slightly deeper etch. And we're going to set this to 1000. But wait, since we're actually going to be doing also a raster etch operation where the laser goes back and forth over the area, we're actually going to set this to raster vect. So this will do a raster for the blocks of color and a vector for the lines. But since raster operations take so long, I'm actually going to boost the speed here to 80. This will allow it to just go a little faster. And we'll click Set. Our yellow, we aren't using yellow at all, so we're going to set that to skip. Same goes for our magenta, cyan, and orange. As you can see, you can actually click multiple colors and adjust them at the same time. So we're going to set those to skip. But our blue, which is just going to be a raster operation, we're going to turn to raster. We're going to set its power to 60 and our speed to 90% because raster operations take a really long time. One of the things we can also do with raster operations is set our PPI instead of to 1000, which is the highest resolution, we could set it to, say, 800, which will also help with it go faster. Down on the bottom here, there are also some other options. With the raster, you can adjust the quality of the raster, so sort of a density of lines. 6 will give you a really good raster, but it will take longer, where you can actually get quicker by dropping that image density down. Print direction, so you can have it start your raster from the bottom of the print and work its way up, or the top of the print and work its way down. Dithering isn't something really to worry about. It's somewhat handy, but usually if you just leave it on halftone, everything comes out pretty good. Under vector, you've got vector performance. Really, none of this you need to touch. An engraving field, the only important thing is that says 32 and 18. If you click the maximum size button, it'll set it to that. So once you're ready, you can click Apply and OK. When you're ready to cut, you can actually click OK, and it'll send it off to the machine. Another way of dealing with cuts as well on this particular model is the Universal Laser Systems control panel, that if you click, it will actually bring up a version of our prints. You can click Settings and adjust the settings the same way as we did from that print dialog box. But this is actually where you start the print from. So as you can see, our print's located in the upper corner. And if I click this green arrow here, we'll start engraving on the print job. So if I click, it'll begin, and it'll actually show us, if I click in, zoom in a bit, actually the amount that it's done. If I wanted to pause the print, say for example to walk away and go to the restroom or something, I can click pause. It'll pause the print. I can click resume to pick it back up from where it left off, or I can click start to start from the beginning. Some other options that you can do within this, as we zoom in, we can look a little closer at our part. If you right click, you can zoom out. Right now we're in the basic view. There are a couple other views. The estimate view will actually tell you how long it thinks it'll take to do your job. Doesn't really matter that much. The ones that do are the relocate view, where you can actually drag this and reposition it on different parts of your material without actually having to edit the original file. You can also come in and do duplicate view and apply multiples of your thing if you needed to recreate something several times, and then give it a little space between, you could relocate. But for the most part, just staying in basic view will do it for you. And so if we wanted to pick back up where we left off, we could click resume. We're given the runtime up top, how long it's taken, and the number of copies, so the number of times we've run it. As you can see, our name of our file is up top and when it was created. That's it for this tutorial. Hope it helps.